Title: The Ghosts of Bragg Road. Setting: Bragg Road, Texas, known locally as Ghost Road. It was a moonless night in the heart of Texas. The air was thick with humidity, and the sound of cicadas filled the stillness. Laura and her friends had heard the stories, the tales of the eerie lights that appeared on Bragg Road, a deserted stretch of dirt in the middle of the big thicket. Some said the lights were from a phantom train. Others claimed they were the spirits of long-dead railroad workers. As they drove down the narrow, tree-lined path, the headlights of their car barely cut through the oppressive darkness. The road seemed to stretch endlessly, and the further they drove, the more the tension in the car grew. Even the chatter of her usually talkative friends had died down, replaced by a tense silence. "Do you think it's true?" Laura whispered, her eyes scanning the road ahead for any sign of the mysterious lights. Before anyone could answer, a dim, floating light appeared in the distance. It flickered, as if struggling to stay lit, then grew brighter. The friends gasped in unison. Laura's heart pounded as the light hovered above the road, swaying gently as though it was carried by an invisible hand. "It's just headlights from another car," one of her friends muttered, though the fear in his voice was unmistakable. But there was no sound of an approaching vehicle. As the light drew nearer, it split into two, then three, each one glowing with an unnatural intensity. The air in the car grew cold, and Laura's breath fogged the windshield. Suddenly the lights began to circle the car, faster and faster, as if they were alive. Laura's friend slammed on the brakes, and they skidded to a stop. The light stopped circling and hovered just outside the driver's side window. For a brief moment, Laura thought she could make out a face within the light, a face twisted in pain, eyes hollow and searching. Without warning, the lights vanished, leaving them in pitch blackness. The sudden silence was deafening. Shaking, Laura reached for the ignition, but the car wouldn't start. Panic set in as she tried again and again, her hands trembling. Then, out of the corner of her eye, Laura saw movement. A figure emerged from the woods, its body cloaked in shadows. It walked slowly toward the car, its footsteps making no sound. The closer it got, the clearer it became that this was no ordinary person. Its skin was as pale as moonlight, and its eyes glowed with the same unnatural light they had just witnessed. As the figure reached the front of the car, it bent down, peering through the windshield. Laura screamed, and in that instant, the car roared to life. Her friends slammed on the gas, and they sped away, leaving the figure and the haunted road behind. But even as they reached the safety of the highway, the cold never left them, and in the rearview mirror, Laura swore she could still see those glowing eyes watching them, waiting for the next curious souls to drive down Bragg Road.
End.
This short story draws on the local legend of Bragg Road in Texas, which is famous for its mysterious ghost lights that have been reported by numerous people over the years.